Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So in today's video, we're going to take on Ewan's True Manifest, and as usual, I do have 3 different methods by which I defeat him. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. That being said, this first battle was a lot more difficult than I should have made it. And the reason for that is I wasn't aware of the different mechanics he has, and so hopefully this longer first clear will show you kind of what you're up against. First of all, he does preemptively set Blunt Zone to start each fight, and not only that, he will reset Blunt Zone every turn if you haven't awakened it. So the awakening a zone means that you locked in the zone. You see that little kind of arrow icon, and so he will not be able to change the zone while that is active. And so I would recommend, if you have access to awakened zone, you can awaken the zone of your choice to defeat Ewan that way. Obviously, being that he's a blunt user, his blunt attacks could do a lot more damage in blunt zone. Also, he is a fire-based unit, so he is vulnerable to both fire and water attacks, and of course resists all other types of attacks. So, if you are bringing a fire team and using fire zone, be aware that you will enhance some of its attacks. Now, not all of its attacks are actually elemental. Like, for example, the first attack, I believe destruction, should be just non-elemental or non-type. And so, because of that, you need to, determine how you want to resist that shielding. You can either use physical shields, because type shields won't work against non-elemental attacks, or you can use a weapon zone to help protect you against some of his attacks, because any zone other than blunt zone will reduce that physical attack by 30%. Of course, you will need type shields and physical shields on top if you want to kind of play the long game and protect. Dual or triple debuffs will help a lot as well. If you speed down, you'll now be able to act first before Ewan. Otherwise, even though he's not a very fast unit, if your unit's slow, then you might not be able to complete your turn in time. So, first of all, he does have a 50% HP stopper, after which he heals to full HP on the first time. And he will again try to re-establish Blunt Zone. And so, I didn't do any EFs after that, because as I experimented through this fight, he actually has not only 1 HP stopper, he has actually a total of, I'll dare say, 2. And why I say that is, after the first HP stopper and he heals himself to full HP, once you can bring him completely down, that is, you can either use a full AF or whatnot, and then he will have 1 full bar of HP recovered after that. The reason how you know is that those debuff or buff icons, they don't disappear once he's drained all his HP if you AF it down. And so, one strategy is to kind of use a no AF strat, wear him down the half bar, then the full bar, and then full AF bar after that. Or you could 1 turn AF, and then again, playing the long game, you can try to kind of wear him down with large, powerful hits. Again, Fire Zone is probably not the most efficient, and note that I do have Orlea up front. Orlea does grant hold ground once to each of your units, and so this first strategy is definitely RNG based, because he can hit any one of your 4 units, and if he hits the same unit where he's targeted previously and your debuffs weren't enough, he will remove your hold ground with the first hit, and of course if he gets hit again with the second hit, then your unit will then die, and of course we don't want to see any deaths. Other than that, part of the reason why I've survived a lot of those hits as well is because I actually have a lot of HP plus 2000 and MP minus badges, and that's because we're using Minoka here. Minoka, of course, gains more damage based on the amount of HP she kind of self-damages the entire party each turn, and if you have a total party HP of 20,000 or more, she'll have 50 stacks, which she can do maximum damage with. Anyways, in the final stage, after you've worn down the half HP bar and the full HP bar, he will have a 20 hit barrier. It's not a 0 percent like 100% barrier. It's kind of, I think it's either 50 or something along those lines. It doesn't feel like a ton, but it does resist damage quite a bit, and so if you don't have any barrier pierce units, you'll have to force your way through the barrier, which I will show you in my 3rd clear. Other than that, he also does Awaken Zone on his own, on the third one on his second or final HP full bar. So keep that in mind. If you have already established zone, I believe it'll just awaken whatever zone's in play at that time, and so try not to leave him in blunt zone so that he can awaken his own zone. So hopefully that kind of gives you a basic idea of what to expect. And yeah, it was a little bit convoluted, and yes, it wasn't very elegant. It was a long multi-turn clear, but again, I want to kind of see what we're up against, and knowing that I had a pretty powerful team, I wasn't too worried. I will say I did record this many times just to kind of see what's happening, and also because, you know, like I said before, the RNG of single targets can wipe one member, and let's be honest, we don't want any cats dragging our bodies off the field. Kind of want to have a whole party alive for that. So pretty standard grass tail loadout. Some of them are actually remnants of my teams that I was using to clear the newest storyline, being all those enemies either need preemptive or a large amount of power in order to defeat even the mobs. Okay, so that was a long fight. Let's go with a nice, short, and elegant clear. And I'll show you what I mean by elegant clear. So remember, in my first fight, I realized it has a total of 3 HPs, 1 half and 2 fulls. We're going to start with a 1-turn AF, and we're going to awaken our own magic zone. Alter Xion can do that, and we're just going to set up all our buffs and debuffs. Remember that he's not able to remove his buffs and debuffs, and so as long as we have water type up attack for ourselves, giving ourselves more damage with either Glacial Veil and Baptizo Soul to give our whole party members mental focus to increase our magical attacks. We also cast Rosa Liliac, which will triple debuff the enemy so it doesn't toast us in one hit. And I actually equipped a taunt Grasta on Alter Xion such that he takes the hit, and I'll show you why. Okay, so after the HP, we used Efi to eat up Flam so that she lost her blood contract, and in exchange she will have a barrier pierce. And the reason for that is we know that Eva will act faster than Flam, being that Eva stacked 4 stacks of int and speed with her Icicle Torch. The turn after the AF, we Icicle Torch first so that it brings it down to the last HP. With the 20 hit barrier, Efi's lunatic eating blood ritual allowed Flam to bypass the barrier completely. So 2-turn, pretty cool clear in my opinion, and being that Japan didn't have Efi at the time of this manifest, I hope that was a pretty unique clear for all of you to see. And finally, let's just go blunt force, just raw damage right through all its defenses. And so we're going to use Aisha yet again. However, we're going to lock in zone this time using RCF. And when in water zone, of course, we're going to reduce fire damage by 50%. Remember that Aisha has triple debuff as well. It can also help with our water attacks. We have Raging Anger if we want to use it with RCF to increase our physical resistance by 50%. And of course the standard massive attackers Eva and Flam. With all those debuffs and our shields in place, note that even after the first half HP bar and the HP stopper, let's just call it, Flam was not killed in the first hit. After that, it's just a matter of forcing ourselves to the second HP stopper, which it does, and then now the bar is the barrier is up, and even with the barrier up, notice how much damage Eva did, more than half its HP. And again, with triple debuff, and now we've activated Song with Aisha that reduces damage by 50%, similar to Pizzica. We can just finish it off with a pair of Icicle Torch and our favorite Neptune, and we even have an AF bar for the next time. So that was a 3-turn clear, and our Efi clear was a 2-turn clear, and of course our first one was over 10 turns or whatever like that. So hopefully, again, this video shows you a few different aspects by which you can clear them. Again, if you're looking for completely free, no gacha units, I'm sure there's many YouTubers out there who have completely free clears. I just want to kind of show some raw power, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll be working on the 5-star review of Ewan, hopefully sometime this weekend. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.